Hello and welcome to News Review from BBC Learning English. I'm Neil. Joining me today is Tom. Hi there, Tom.
Hello, Neil, and hello to our audience. Good news for Italy, bad news for England. Italy have won Euro 2020.
If you want to test yourself on the vocabulary you hear in this programme, there's a quiz on our website at bbclearningenglish.com. Now, let's hear some more about the story from this BBC News report.
There's ecstasy in Italy, but agony in England after Gareth Southgate's men were beaten on penalties in the final of Euro 2020. While in Rome, the party went late into the night after Italy won their first European Championship since 1968.
So Euro 2020 has finished. Sunday evening was the final match here in London. Italy won. Congratulations to Italy, and England lost on penalties. That's the end of the story, Neil, unfortunately.
Yes, difficult one for us, isn't it, Tom? But congratulations to Italy. You've been looking around the various news websites of this story, and what have you got?
I have erupts, shoulders blame, and broke into.
Erupts, shoulders blame, and broke into. Let's have a look then at your first headline.
My first headline, Neil, is from Reuters. It says, Italy erupts in celebration after Euro soccer triumph.
Erupts. Expresses something suddenly and with force. Now, Tom, erupt, that's got something to do with a volcano, hasn't it? Is that what we're talking about? Volcanoes?
It does, yeah. If you think about what the volcano does, it explodes and the lava comes out. The verb that we would use for this is erupt. It's very dramatic.
Yeah, so why are we talking about a football match and this word?
I think it's very dramatic, the imagery when we use erupt like this in a figurative way. If you think of a volcano and everything goes bang, it happens very quickly and it's very intense. I imagine when Italy scored their final penalty last night that a lot of celebrations erupted in the country. They came suddenly and quickly, and they were very strong and dramatic.
Yeah. Now, what words do we use around this word, erupt?
So we would actually normally use this with a preposition in or into, like in is in the headline. If we say, the Italians erupted, it's not very specific. It could actually mean they exploded. So if you erupt in celebration or erupt into celebration, it tells you the state that you enter quickly.
Yeah, and as you've already said, it's dramatic, and we use this to talk about extreme emotions, don't we? So joy, but also the negative side of things, violence.
Yeah, precisely. It can have a negative use as well. It's very common to see the expression erupt into violence. So if you think about violence that happens very quickly and is intense and dramatic, we would also use this expression erupt.
Yeah, and we've been looking at it here as a verb, but it also exists as a noun, eruption.
Yeah, eruption. E-R-U-P-T-I-O-N is the noun form.
Okay, let's get a summary. Well, things change quickly in football, don't they? It seems like only a couple of years ago we were talking about the fact that Italy hadn't qualified for the 2018 World Cup, and now they're European champions. Where can our viewers find that story?
They can find it by clicking the link in the description of the video.
Okay, let's have a look at your next headline.
Sure. My next headline, Neil, is from here in the UK. It's from The Independent. It says, "It's my responsibility. Gareth Southgate shoulders blame for England's Euro 2020 final defeat." And that language is shoulders blame.
Shoulders blame. Accepts responsibility.
Shoulders blame. Shoulders blame is a fixed expression. Means accept responsibility. Blame is negative responsibility. So the headline is saying that Gareth Southgate, the manager of England, accepts the blame. He shoulders or takes the negative responsibility for the defeat of his country's team.
Yeah, now I know what a shoulder is. That's this thing here. It's part of the body. So why are we talking about a part of the body and this blame?
We did a news review recently, Neil, about a word burden, and burden is kind of like a heavy negative responsibility. And if you shoulder a burden, it means that you carry it. You kind of carry it and it weighs heavily around your shoulders. So you've got this sort of, the imagery makes it as if you've got a weight around you, and that's uncomfortable, you know.
Yeah, it's a kind of figurative weight. You know, if you ever go backpacking or something, you carry the rucksack on your shoulders and there's a weight. This is a figurative weight, the weight of blame.
It is, and actually we have another expression in English, Neil, which is if you feel relief, if you lose responsibility, you can say that's a weight off my shoulders, so you don't have to carry it anymore. Yeah. So shoulders the blame is accept or carries responsibility.
We can use shoulder also as a verb in another sense.
We can. This is a bit more literal, a bit more kind of practical, if you will. Imagine if you go shopping and someone bangs into you with the shoulder, bang, and they push you out of the way. They shoulder you, or they shoulder into you. If you push someone with your shoulder, you shoulder them.
Okay, let's get a summary. So we've been talking about the use of shoulder, and we mentioned a previous news review about overwork. Where can our viewers find that, Tom?
Same as ever, Neil, please go in the video description and click the link.
Okay, let's have our next headline, please.
Our next headline is from At Home, the BBC. It says, Euro 2020 final. Small number of fans broke into Wembley, say police.
Broke into, entered without permission.
Broke into, the phrasal verb in the present is break into. And if you break into somewhere, you enter without permission. The headline uses broke because it's in the past. The final has finished. The headline is referring to some England fans who entered Wembley Arena illegally. They didn't have a ticket. They didn't have permission to be there. So we use this phrasal verb break into.
Yeah, and it starts with the word break. Are they actually breaking something? Is it helpful to think in those terms?
Kind of. If we often use break into with crime, especially kind of stealing or thievery. And if you enter someone's house without permission, you might break the window to get into the house. So you would often see it in a context of crime.
Yeah. Also exists as a noun. We can describe when someone breaks into a property as a break-in.
A break-in, yeah, spelt the same. A break-in is an act or an instance of entering someone's property without permission, probably to steal things.
Yeah, be careful though. The verb is break into, but the noun is break in without into.
Yeah, and we have other meanings as well that we can use break into for. Kind of similar to eruption that we were talking about at the start, actually. So we could say that last night the Italian supporters broke into celebration. It means they started to celebrate very quickly. It happened like that.
Yeah, and people can break into song as well. If people are in a good mood or something, at a party, they might break into song.
I'm sure there were a lot of Italians in Rome and all around Italy breaking into song last night when they won the football, Neil.
Yes, whereas here there was total and utter silence.
Yeah, I went to bed straight afterwards, actually.
Okay, let's get a summary. Okay, Tom, time now just to recap the vocabulary, please.
Of course, today's vocabulary we have erupts, expresses something suddenly and with force. Shoulders blame, accepts responsibility. And broke into, entered without permission.
If you want to test yourself on the vocabulary, there's a quiz on our website at bbclearningenglish.com, and you can find us all over social media. Thanks for joining us, and goodbye.
Bye.